Your salary went up this year, but you feel poorer than last year. You're not imagining it, and nobody is explaining the exact mechanism that's doing this to you every single month. That changes right now. I want you to think about something for a second. In 2010, the average UK worker earned around £24,000 a year. Today, the average is closer to 35,000. That's a 45% increase over 15 years. So why do so many people feel worse off now than they did 15 years ago? Why does the money run out faster? Why does the same shopping trolley cost more every single week? Why does owning a home feel further away than ever, even for people who are earning more than their parents ever did? The answer is one word: inflation. But not inflation the way most people think about it. Here's what inflation actually does to your money. And I promise this will change how you think about your salary forever. Let's say you earn £30,000 a year. Your employer gives you a 2% pay rise. You're now earning £30,600. That feels like a win. But here's what happened at the same time. Inflation that year was 4%, which means the things you buy, food, energy, rent, transport, all got 4% more expensive. Your salary went up 2%. Prices went up 4%. In real terms, you just took a 2% pay cut, even though your pay slip shows a higher number. This is called negative real wage growth, and it has been happening to most UK workers for most of the last 15 years. Let me give you the actual numbers, because they're genuinely shocking. In 2008, UK real wages, meaning wages adjusted for inflation, were at a certain level. By 2014, they had fallen by 8% in real terms. 8%, even though most people were getting pay rises every year. The pay rises just weren't keeping up with the rising cost of everything else. The Bank of England's own data shows that UK real wages only returned to their 2008 level in 2023. 15 years of going nowhere in real terms. An entire generation of workers who earned more on paper and ended up with less purchasing power in their pocket. But here's where it gets more personal, because inflation doesn't hit everyone equally. The inflation number you hear on the news, 2%, 4%, 6%, that's an average. It's an average of thousands of different prices across thousands of different products. And it's weighted in a way that may not reflect your life at all. If you rent your home, you felt more inflation than the headline number suggests. If you drive to work, you felt more inflation. If you have children and you're buying food and clothing and school supplies, you felt more inflation. If you're younger and spending a higher proportion of your income on rent and transport, you've felt significantly more inflation than someone who owns their home outright and drives an older car. The headline inflation number is real, but your personal inflation rate, the rate at which the cost of your specific life is rising, is almost certainly higher than what you hear on the news. So, what do you actually do about this? Because understanding the problem is only useful if it changes something. 3 things, and all of them are genuinely actionable today. First, stop thinking about your salary in cash terms. Start thinking about it in real terms. When your employer offers you a pay rise, the only question that matters is whether it's above or below the current inflation rate. A 3% pay rise when inflation is 5% is a 2% pay cut. Knowing that changes how you negotiate. Second, your savings are losing value right now if they're sitting in a standard current account. The Bank of England base rate has been elevated, but many high street banks are still paying savings rates far below inflation on their standard accounts. That means money sitting in a basic account is shrinking in real terms every single month. Moving it to a competitive easy access savings account or a cash ISA earning above inflation, even slightly, stops that silent erosion. Third, Assets beat cash over time. This isn't financial advice, and I'm not telling you to do anything specific with your money, but the data is clear. Over any 15 to 20-year period in modern history, assets like shares, property, and index funds have grown faster than inflation. Cash in a standard account has not. The people who get poorer in real terms are almost always the people keeping everything in cash while inflation quietly erodes it. The people who protect their purchasing power are almost always the ones who move some of that cash into assets that grow faster than the rising cost of living. Here's today in 30 seconds. Your salary going up doesn't mean you're getting richer. It depends entirely on whether your salary is rising faster or slower than inflation. For most UK workers, for most of the last 15 years, it has been slower. That is why you feel poorer. That is why the money runs out. That is why the same life costs more every year. And now you know the exact mechanism. What you do with that knowledge is up to you. Subscribe to Global Finance Market News. Every story that matters to your money, every single day. And please remember, everything in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. This is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Always speak to a qualified financial professional before making any decisions about your money.